Hi, I'm Dr. Heather Rhodes. I'm a biologist and a neuroscientist at Denison University in Granville, Ohio. For the next few months, I'll be living in Brisbane, Australia, so that I can conduct research into how animals like octopus, cuttlefish, and squid taste and smell chemicals in their environment. I'm also going to be making videos every few weeks to share my journey with you. You will get to follow along with my research, learn about these fascinating animals, and see the messy but wonderful process that is science. I'll also share some of the unique biology of Australia with you and answer some questions that you or other students submit from your teachers. But first, a little more about me. Here are 5 quick facts about Dr. Rhodes. Number 1, I have lived in 4 states. I grew up in Southern California, a town called Escondido, and I went to college at UC San Diego. Then I moved to North Carolina for graduate school. Then I moved to Massachusetts after graduate school, lived there for 4 years while I worked at Boston University and also on Cape Cod. And now I live in Ohio. I moved here in 2007 for my job at Denison. Fact number 2, I love to travel. I have visited 4 of the 7 continents. I have visited 19 countries. And this isn't my first trip to Australia. It's actually my 4th. I studied abroad in Melbourne, Australia during college, and I have visited twice in the years since, so I'm excited to go back. Fact number 3, as a scientist, I've studied the nervous systems of 9 different species, including humans, frogs, and octopuses. I have been studying frog social and reproductive behavior for almost 20 years now, and that's most of my work at Denison. But I've always wanted to study octopuses and their relatives called cephalopods. They have really great, fascinating nervous systems. And I got a chance to work with squid and octopus in the summer of 2018. And that's the work I'm going to follow up on in Australia. Fact number 4. While I love doing research, my favorite part of my job is actually developing labs for the college students I teach at Denison. I love helping my students plan experiments and conduct them. They've come up with things like, how do millipedes coordinate their legs to walk over a gap? We've done things like spider races. We have fed blood to leeches. We have given plants jet lag. Creating labs for students and helping them design their own experiments. It's honestly made me a really adaptable scientist. I have come to be able to quickly identify problems, come up with simple, creative solutions on the fly. And those are skills I am hoping are going to help me on this research project I'm going to do in Australia, because I expect to encounter a lot of new problems that require creative problem solving. All right. Fact number 5 about me. I have a family. I've got a husband and 2 daughters. They are 11 and 15. They are all coming with me to Australia, where my kids will actually go to Australian public school. So they have a whole adventure of their own going forward. We also have a dog and a fish, and they are staying with friends while we're gone. All right. So those are the fun facts about me. Now that you've had a quick introduction to me, I want to give you a quick introduction to the animals that I'm going to be studying. So I'm going to be studying a group of animals called coleoid cephalopods. So if we go down the phylogenetic tree, that's kingdom Animalia. Then underneath that kingdom, we have order Mollusca, mollusks, class Cephalopoda, cephalopods, and then subclass coleoid. Okay, what the heck are coleoid cephalopods? This group includes octopuses. It's octopuses, not octopi. Octopuses, cuttlefish, squid, and some other related animals, okay, that we'll go into some more later on. These animals are invertebrates, no spine, but they have some of the biggest brains of all invertebrates, and they're really clever. Their problem-solving ability is roughly on par with kindergartners. So that's pretty good. But they're in the same order as other mollusks like snails and clams, which are not exactly known for being super smart. So why are they so smart? Well, coleoid cephalopods at some point in the past lost their external shell through evolution, right? All the other animals in the mollusks have some kind of an external shell. They lost it. That meant they could swim fast and they could hide really well, right? They can jam their little soft bodies into crevices and cracks. So by losing the external shell, they got better swimming and better hiding, right? Better ability to move their bodies in different shapes and forms. But they also needed enhanced sensory systems to avoid, right? Detect and avoid potential predators, and to find prey and capture prey. So it's sort of a mixed bag, right? They're now fast, right? And smart, but they don't have that body armor protection, which is really important because without that, they are just a tasty piece of meat swimming through the ocean. So they had to become fast and clever to overcome the loss of that body shell armor. So the word cephalopod actually comes from cephala, meaning head, and pod, meaning feet, right? So cephalopods look like they have sort of a head and feet, right? Really, what they have is this mantle that covers a body structure that contains all of their guts, right? Their gastrointestinal tract, gills, hearts, reproductive organs is all kind of under that mantle in that head looking part. And then the feet, we really call arms and tentacles. So there's two groups of coleoid cephalopods. We can start diverging a little bit. The octopods, they have 8 arms, and the decapods, they have 10 appendages. It's actually 8 arms and usually 2 tentacles that are slightly different from the arms. Again, maybe we'll talk about that later on. We're gonna let it go for right now. Their mouth is on the underside in between all those 8 legs. And it has a beak, a very sharp, strong beak, like a hawk or an eagle, right? So it can really rip apart, bite into and rip apart prey. And those beaks are usually also venomous. So when they bite creatures, they inject a venom into their prey. Right above where all the arms come out are 2 eyes on either side. They have very advanced visual systems, really good eyes, very interesting and evolutionarily unique. And then in between those eyes is where the brain sits, right? Sort of above the arms, but below the mantle and between the eyes. What's crazy is that because the mouth is right underneath that, their esophagus actually runs up straight through the brain, and the brain goes around the esophagus like a donut. Evolution is wild. Okay, where I'm going in Queensland, Australia, that's the state, Queensland, and then I'm in the city, Brisbane. Queensland, Australia is where the Great Barrier Reef is, right? There's huge biological marine diversity there. I will not be right at the Great Barrier Reef, although I plan to travel up there. I'll be down, there's some lower reefs and areas that kind of come down to that subtropical area near Brisbane. But all through that area are just a huge, rich number of species of cephalopods. And so I will be able to potentially study a number of different species. I am interested in particular in their chemosensory abilities. So chemochemical senses. You have chemosenses. They are your sense of smell and taste. And these cephalopods do too. They definitely have chemosensors like on those lips, beak, mouth structures, just like we have on our mouth, so we can taste the food that comes into our mouth. But they also appear to have chemical sensory in other parts of their body, little olfactory pits near their eyes that can smell chemicals in the water, as well as chemical sensors on those suckers and tentacles. And so I'm really interested in those things. I'm going to tell you more in the next video in a couple weeks about the background. What do we know about chemical senses in these animals already? What past work did I do? And then we'll start thinking about what I'm hoping to do while I'm in Australia. So it was really great to get to meet you guys all, well, virtually meet you. And I'll send another video in a couple weeks. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. you.